Some lights don't go out, they just get buried under the ice. In the Canadian woods, when winter returns, they say that beacon still burns. Snow was falling softly over the vast Canadian woods. Each flake drifted through the pale gray sky like a whisper from the clouds, landing on the frozen earth in silence. In the middle of those endless trees stood a wooden farmhouse, old, wide, and isolated, miles away from the nearest town. Inside lived the Miller family. Jonathan Miller, a quiet man with the rough hands of someone who had worked the land his entire life. His wife Eleanor, calm but always watchful, as if she could sense things before they happened. And their two children, 13-year-old Lucy and her younger brother, Ethan. It was supposed to be a peaceful winter, but the forest had other plans. The first sign came one night when the wind howled harder than usual. The snow thickened, covering the windows until no light could enter. Lucy sat by the fireplace, sketching on her small notepad. She was drawing the barn, except, in her picture, someone was standing inside it. "Who's that?" her mother asked, noticing the shadow in Lucy's drawing. Lucy shrugged. "I don't know. I just felt like someone was there." Eleanor smiled faintly, though uneasily. That night, as everyone slept, she thought she heard footsteps crunching outside on the snow, slow, deliberate, and close to the door. The next morning, Jonathan found something unusual. Near the barn door, deep footprints had melted part of the frost, but they weren't boot prints. They were too long, too thin, like someone barefoot had walked through the snow, but with toes that curved like claws. "Wolves?" Eleanor asked, staring from the kitchen window. Jonathan shook his head. "Wolves don't walk upright." They didn't talk about it after that, but the silence between them grew colder than the air outside. Days passed. The snowstorm worsened. Electricity flickered, sometimes going out completely. Each night, they heard strange noises, the creaking of wood, faint knocks from the attic, and once, what sounded like whispering under the floorboards. Lucy began having nightmares. She told her mother that someone was calling her name from the woods. "Lucy, come outside." The voice was gentle, almost kind, but it wasn't human. When Jonathan checked outside one night, there was nothing but snow and dark trees, but something had been there. He could feel it, watching, waiting. 3 days later, Ethan disappeared. It was morning when they realized it. His bed was empty, the sheets still warm. The window was open, snow on the sill. Tiny footprints, bare feet, led away from the house, out toward the barn. Jonathan ran outside, shouting his son's name. "Ethan, Ethan." The snow swallowed his voice. The footprints ended at the edge of the frozen pond. Beyond that, only untouched snow and forest shadows. They called the police, but the nearest officer couldn't reach them until the storm cleared. They were alone. That night, Lucy found something under her pillow, a small wooden carving of a child holding a lantern. The figure's face had been scratched out. On its back, something was carved in shaky letters. "He's not gone." Eleanor wanted to burn it immediately, but Lucy clutched it tight. "It's Ethan," she said. "He's trying to tell me something." From then on, the house didn't feel like a home anymore. It felt like a mouth slowly closing around them. Jonathan stayed up all night, guarding the door with his rifle. At 2:43 a.m., he heard the back door creak open. He rushed to the kitchen, but no one was there. Snow had blown inside, forming a trail leading down the basement steps. He followed it with a lantern in hand. The air grew colder with every step, his breath fogging in front of him. When he reached the bottom, the lantern flickered. In the dim light, he saw small handprints on the wall, hundreds of them, like frost-shaped hands pressed into the wood. And then he heard it, a faint voice. "Dad." Jonathan froze. It was Ethan's voice. "Come help me. It's so cold down here." Jonathan trembled. "Ethan, where are you?" But the voice shifted, growing distorted, deeper. "Wrong. He's with me now." The lantern shattered on the ground. Darkness swallowed him whole. Eleanor woke to the sound of the front door slamming. Jonathan was gone. Only the rifle lay by the stairs, covered in frost. Lucy whispered, "Mom, I think we have to go." But the storm had buried the car under 6 feet of snow. They were trapped. The next evening, Lucy stood by the window, staring into the forest. Something moved between the trees, slow, pale, almost human. She saw Ethan, barefoot in the snow, wearing his pajamas, holding a lantern. His eyes glowed faintly blue. "Mom, he's outside." Eleanor looked, but by the time she reached the window, he was gone. Only the faint light of the lantern remained, fading deeper into the woods. Lucy opened the door. "Lucy, don't," Eleanor shouted, grabbing her coat. But Lucy was already running through the blizzard, her breath turning to mist. The forest was alive with whispers, name, words, strange songs in a language she couldn't understand. She followed the light until she reached the frozen pond again. There, standing in the middle of it, was her brother, Ethan, she said softly. He turned. His face was pale, his eyes hollow. "Come with me. It's warm here." The ice beneath her feet cracked. She realized the reflection in the water didn't match his movements. The figure in the ice smiled, while Ethan's face above remained blank. "Lucy," her mother screamed behind her, but the ice broke. Eleanor dove forward, pulling Lucy back just in time. The lantern fell into the water, its glow flickering out beneath the surface. When she looked up again, Ethan was gone. She held Lucy close, sobbing in the snow. The forest went silent. Only the wind remained. Spring came 2 months later. The snow melted. The authorities searched the woods, the pond, the barn, but they never found Ethan or Jonathan. Eleanor and Lucy moved away, leaving the farmhouse to rot among the trees. But some nights, when the temperature drops just right, locals say you can still see a faint blue lantern moving across the frozen pond, and hear a boy's laughter echoing through the woods. And sometimes, when the snow begins to fall, you can hear another whisper underneath the wind, a voice saying, "He's not gone." Don't forget to like if you want the story to continue.